Hello everybody and welcome. We are going to study the unit 4.1 and the poem is Please Listen. As the title itself suggests, it's a very interesting poem. It's something that the young students would love. Okay, let's dive straight into it. So this poem is an anonymous poem. The writer is unknown. This poem uses the conversational style of poetry. The idea is to use the common everyday language to bring out or express a very profound thought. By profound thought, I mean deep thought. There is not much figurative language used in the poem. This poem is an example of a free verse. Therefore, it has neither a rhyme scheme nor definite rhythm. The most important figures of speech used in the poem is repetition, but other than that, it doesn't really have a lot of figures of speech. The poem expresses an idea that sometimes just paying attention to someone and patiently listening to your loved one helps. That's why I said you'd love this poem, as there's no doubt about it. Okay, let's start with the first couple of stanzas. As usual, give me your 100% undivided attention. Have your notepad ready in case you want to pause and make notes. Please do so. Let's start with the first stanza. When I ask you to listen to me and you start giving me advice, you have not done what I asked. When I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. Now, trampling is crushing or treating with contempt. So, what is the poet saying here? I've already said this, guys. The poet here is probably a youngster who is talking to his friend or maybe some elder, and he wants to be heard. He wants his friend to listen to him. He says, hear me out. So what is he saying in the first couple of stanzas? He's saying, when I ask you to listen to me and you start giving me advice about what I should do, you're not doing what I asked. I want you to listen to me. Let me express myself. It's important, guys. It's very important. When you are with your friends, I'm sure there's a lot you have to talk, but at times when your friend wants to express himself or herself, be that patient listener as well. That helps. In the next stanza, what did we see? Well, there was a repetition there, is it not? The first line was the same for both the stanzas. Here the poet says that when I ask you to listen to me and then you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel the way I do, well then again you're trampling on my feelings. I like that word. You're just, walking on my feelings there. That's not fair. I want you to listen to me. And believe me, guys, if your friend has something to say to you, just hear him or hear her out. And then you can say whatever it is that you have to say. Let's see what we have under language study. Negative form, something that is so important. Should, the negative form is shouldn't, and for shall, the negative form is shan't. It's a great mistake. The students think that the negative of shall is shouldn't. It's not that. Shall becomes shan't and should becomes shouldn't. That's the negative form. Under grammar, I'm sure the figures of speech that we talked about. When I ask you to listen to me, now, why this is repetition is because the same line is used to introduce both the stanzas. You see, that's the first line for both the stanzas. Let me make it full screen just in case you want to make your notes. It is here that you can pause, but please kindly now allow me to go to the next slide. Give me your 100% undivided attention, guys. Enjoy this poem. Further down, the poet says, when I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve my problem, you have failed me, strange as that may seem. Listen. All I ask is that you listen. Don't talk or do, just hear me. Now, this is so self-explanatory, is not the deep thought, but it is so important at times we forget to do this. The poet here says, the youngster talking says, that you don't have to do anything to solve my problem. You don't have to, tell me the reasons or provide an explanation. All I am asking you is that you listen. That's all. I, at the moment, don't want you to talk, don't want you to do. Isn't that the last line there? So don't talk or do. just hear me. By the way, I'm very sure that in this under language study, we will get the difference between hear and listen. Exactly. So hear is something that unintentionally falls on your ears, and listen is to pay careful, meticulous attention to something. So let me talk more about this. Well, listen is something that you are intentionally paying attention to. So at the moment this lecture, you're listening, but then let's say there is something that falls on your ears. You didn't intend to, but yeah, then it is hear. Okay, listen is a word of higher importance. It's to intently do it with intention there. Let's go ahead and find out what's there in the grammar under grammar section. Yes, a couple of figures of speech. Listen, it's an exclamation. The strong emotion has been expressed there. The friend, the teenager wants to be heard. So listen. Okay. The next one is don't talk or do is antithesis, because talk and do are two opposite words that we find in the same line there. Let me make it full screen. It is here that you can pause if you want to make your notes. At the moment, please allow me to go to the next one. Advice is cheap. 20 cents will get you both Dear Abby and Billy Graham in a newspaper. And I can do for myself. I am not helpless. Maybe discouraged and faltering, but not helpless. Now, before we go any further, let me tell you what this Dear Abby and Billy Graham thing is. Okay, they are actually the ones to write in the newspapers. They run a column giving people advice. Now I'm very sure that you have known about this. In the tabloids, in the newspapers, you have these people, the columnists who write. They provide their email where you can post your questions, and later they give the advice about what you should do. So here the friend is saying that if I wanted advice, if advice is what I was seeking, then I would have spent 20 cents and I would have gotten Dear Abby and Billy Graham's advice. I don't want advice at the moment, which I can get from the newspaper. Hello, I don't want that. Okay. In the next stanza, the poet says, I can do for myself. I am not helpless. So I know what is to be done. I'm perfectly competent. But just listen to what, let me express. There are some emotions, I want to give a way out. So just listen. Maybe at the moment, because I have encountered a tough situation, maybe I'm discouraged and maybe a little faltering. The meaning of faltering is on your screen: losing strength or momentum, a little disillusioned. But I am not helpless. The poet says, I'm not helpless. So all I want is patient listening from you. Let's study some figures of speech. And I can do for myself. I am not helpless. Here it's clearly tautology, because can do for myself and I am not helpless means the same. And the word helpless shows repetition. It is repeated for greater emphasis. Well, I like that explanation here. The word has been repeated for a greater emphasis. When you provide variety to the examiner, I'm sure you will make an impression, guys. The first line and the last line, which is the third line, had the word helpless in the second stanza. Let me make it full screen. If you want to pause, you may. At the moment, please allow me to go to the next one, please. Let's see what the poet has to say more. When you do something for me that I can and need to do for myself, you contribute to my fear and inadequacy. Now let me talk one stanza at a time here. Let me read it again. When you do something for me that I can and need to do for myself, you contribute to my fear and inadequacy. I mean, I appreciate the willpower of the poet here. The poet is making it very clear that, my dear friend, I don't want you to do things for me, assuming I'm helpless. I cannot do anything on my own. I'm so feeble. I can't take care of myself. No, there's nothing like that. When you in fact do those things, when you do it on my behalf, or you show unnecessary sympathy, well, you are actually adding to my fear and inadequacy. And maybe somewhere down the line, you are making me believe that I am in need of some, support, or someone who will take care of my things. I am able to do all that myself. Just listen. That's the meaning of the first stanza there. The second one, The poet says, but when you accept as a simple fact that I feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can stop trying to convince you and get about this business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. I'm going to explain that. Let me read that one more time. But when you accept as a simple fact that I feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can stop trying to convince you and get about this business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. Now, let me explain this. It's important, guys, you understand this. The poet says that, my dear friend, there is something that I feel, and I feel what I feel. I don't have to reason it out. Maybe in due course of time, you and I both will understand why it is that I felt what I felt that time. But at the moment, just understand that these are my feelings. I don't need to expatiate and tell you why it is that I feel what I feel. And so, let there be no need for me to convince you why I'm feeling sad or dejected at the moment. Because maybe, give it some time, and maybe you yourself will understand why really I felt the way I did. Okay? Because time heals everything. At the moment, what is required is you should listen to me. That is what is required. Now, I would like to add here that I can associate this. When you are friends, you know the nature of your friends, and maybe sometimes they gauge you better. So it is very important that your friends are friend is somebody, or they are people who give you that space and they allow you to express yourself. It's very important. Please see to it, if you are the friend here and someone comes to you and wants to express, or allow them. Don't interrupt. Patient listening is so important at that time. That fellow will remember you for a long time. Okay, girl, boy, whatever. Okay, what's there under language study? For homophones, I, the letter I, that is, and EYE, no, NO, and KNOW, and then you have two, and two. So there are three twos. And under grammar, we have this figures of speech. I feel what I feel. Definitely repetition. The word feel has been repeated for a better poetic effect. Let me make it full screen just in case you want to pause. All right then, allow me to go to the next one, please. Now the poet says, and when that is clear, the answers are obvious and I don't need advice. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind them. Again, the poet says, and when that is clear, the answers are obvious and I don't need advice. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind them. Now, guys, let me say this. Um, let me give my own example here. Unfortunately, well, I lost my mother as a child when I was in 7th standard. So anytime there is somebody who talks very passionately about his or her mother, I really feel happy that he or she is blessed with something that probably I lack. But then I do get emotional at times. So during the school days, I was lucky to have friends around me who understood the reason for what I felt. And so all that was required was a little time. Maybe an outsider readily would not know or gauge the reason for my sadness, but your friends know. That's the thing. And now you know, shared it with you. So here is what the poet is saying. The poet is saying, when that is clear, or give it some time, let me express myself, and when the things are clear, then I don't need advice, because you will clearly understand that that was basically the reason. I know what to do next. Not that I don't know what to do next, but I wanted to express myself. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what is behind them. I'll give you another example. Well, this time it will be somebody else, not me. There was this, it's a real thing. There was a guy who was scared of Mickey Mouse. Yeah, strange as it might seem, there was this guy who was scared of Mickey Mouse, and people could not understand why that is the case. I mean, Mickey Mouse is, the people are entertained. They are happy, and this guy was scared. It so happened that when he was a kid, I believe the incident was he was getting out of his car or something like that, and then immediately was someone with a soft toy. It was almost evening, night time, something like that, and then immediately there was this Mickey Mouse soft toy, and he was taken aback. He actually was scared, and that always played on his mind. So sometimes, things about your friends, strange as that might be, and only you know the reason about why your friend is happy or sad or whatever it is. So uh, my point being that sometimes, as a friend, all you have to do is understand why what your friend is saying, what he or she is saying, and then after sometimes, things are taken care of automatically. Or be the shoulder that can be relied. Be that friend that people can share. It's important. It's not just you talking all the time. Listen helps. All right, let's see. There's nothing to study as far as grammar, language study. I told you that this poem has not a lot of figures of speech, also not a lot as far as vocabulary is concerned. You'd see barely one entry on every slide. So please allow me to go further. But what a beautiful poem, is it not? Let me now go to the next one. Give me your 100% undivided attention. Perhaps that's why prayer works sometimes for some people, because God is mute and He doesn't give advice or try to fix things. God just listens and lets you work it out for yourself. So true, is it not? So true. Let's read it again. Perhaps that's why prayer works sometimes for some people, because God is mute and He doesn't give advice or try to fix things. God just listens and lets you work it out for yourself. It's a very important part of psychology, guys. 100%. When you go at the, visit a temple and you express yourself, yeah, you can say things in your mind, all right, but then God doesn't interrupt. So there is a definite plan here. You go about saying things, and then patiently the divine intervention, there is no real talk. So that's why the poet is right. Sometimes, the prayers work. So I want you to be that someone for me who will just listen. Don't just constantly give advice like a grandparent. Listen to what I have to say. And that's what God does. God, what does He do? He just lets you work it out for yourself. Figure it out for yourself, He says, giving enough time and allowing us to express ourselves. We can talk whatever we want to, is it not? In front of that idol. Very important psychology there. Now, as far as the language study is concerned, I want you to do this, guys. Look at this word sometimes, and then you have some people. So look at it. Sometime, and sometimes. It's a very, very nice video that I have on our channel, and the link has been provided. Use the link to watch that. You'll simply love it. The difference between sometime, and sometimes. Very subtle, but very interesting indeed. All right, I think now we are at the climax. Let's conclude this. The poet says, so please listen and just hear me. Now here, listen and hear could be tautology, although there is a distinction between the words for, the sake of this poem and this line in particular. Yes, you can say that it is tautology. The last two lines are so important, guys, so important. And if you want to talk, wait a minute for your turn and I will listen to you. That is so important. If there is something that you must say, if there is something that you cannot resist, okay, wait for your turn. Allow me, hear me out first. What do you mean by hear me out? Allow me to say everything that I have to say completely. And later when you talk, I promise I shall listen to you. But first listen to me. Wait for your turn. I'm asking you honestly, guys, all the viewers, are you that friend? Do you allow your friend to talk to you? Do you listen to them patiently? Or are you, girls in particular, do you let your friend talk to you, or two girls, I can imagine meeting each other, they're always in a rush, who will go first? But yes, At times when your friend really needs you, are you the one who has a shoulder that you can cried upon? Do you provide that shoulder? At times, understand your friends. Just listen. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Listen. Such a beautiful poem. I'm sure there are some textual assignments, and also we'll go through the critical appreciation. The author is unknown. I said the poem is anonymous. The textual question. Oh, beautiful questions here. There are occasions where I'm happy with the textbook questions. So this is one such example. The first question is, how old is the speaker in the poem? Now, it's not clearly mentioned, so it is all a guess. I surmise the speaker, my answer is, the speaker seems to be a teenager or a youngster. Who is he or she talking to? He or she seems to be talking to a friend. Well, I have also not denied the possibility that maybe the poet is talking to the parent. I believe grown-ups also need to be told this at times. Whenever there is some junior trying to say something, well, just listen. And you can also do that with your younger siblings. At times a junior wants to say something, well, listen to everything first. And then, of course, you have your say. You will get a chance to speak. But only if you have heard enough to react and make sense. All right, the next question, please. What's the next question? What must have happened before the speaker says all this? So what must have prompted this poem? The speaker must have encountered a stressful situation or faced some disappointment. The speaker seems to have no logical reason as to why that happened. And so he is still, or she is still in a mood where everything has not been completely understood, or it has not sunken in. And therefore, maybe the speaker is asking his friend to just listen. Now, I've always said this, that these are textual questions. I have provided the answers, but does not mean that you just cut, copy, paste. You can always write your own answers. In fact, I would love it if you do so. Now, what do we have? Some more textual questions. Let me read them. The first one. Is the speaker aware of his or her shortcomings? Yes. The speaker certainly seems to be aware of the shortcomings. That there is no doubt about. For the moment, the speaker is well aware. Does he or she want to improve? Yes, indeed. Is he or she confident that he or she can improve? Well, yes, he or she seems perfectly confident to be able to improve. How does he or she want to work it out? He or she wants to work it out on his or her own way, or in his or her own way, following their own path. Is the poet willing to listen to others? Yes, the poet is willing to listen to others, but he or she wants to give way to his or her own feelings first, and later, yes, he would definitely want some feedback. It's very important, guys. It's very important you provide a feedback only when you know the complete story. Don't just start talking on things that you have little understanding about. Point noted, point noted. Listen to everything first, then say what you have to say. The critical appreciation of the poem. As usual, you can take this as a reading challenge. Guys, I always say this. The critical appreciation of the poem is a question for 5 marks. I'm going to read it now for you. When I read it, try to read it with me and then see how fluent you are. Again, I have provided this as a model answer. I don't intend to say that this is the best ever or that you just copy my answer, but I have covered it according to the required format, the paragraph format. Okay, let me read it. All the best. Since you are going to read with me, all the best. Let's start. The poem, please listen, is an anonymous poem. The writer is unknown. This poem is a free verse, that is, the poem has neither a fixed rhyme scheme nor definite rhythm. There are not many figures of speech used by the poet, since this poem is an example of conversational style of poetry. The poet has used simple, everyday language to bring out a profound thought. However, repetition has been used for emphasis. For example, the line, I feel what I feel. The poem suggests that at times we must be a patient listener and let our friends and dear ones express their feelings. We must believe that they are competent and can solve their own problems. What is needed is empathy and moral support. We must offer an advice only when really asked. My favorite line from the poem is, God just listens and lets you work it out for yourself. There is a deep psychology here. Our loved ones have the intellect to figure out what to do. We must offer patient listening and understand at times. I'm sure, guys, that you liked it. Okay. More textual questions. This one is do's and don'ts. Now, it is here that I would like you to pause the video and first attempt this and only resume when you have the answers. So at this point, let me make it full screen. It is at this point, that, guys, that you can pause. All right, and I hope that you had paused because these are the answers. Okay, we have to put them under do's and don'ts. Okay, wait a minute. I beg your pardon. Okay, there we are. That's the last slide, guys. Beg your pardon for that. So please listen is under do's. Just hear me. Accept as a simple fact. Wait a minute. All these are do's. What are don'ts? Don't give me advice. Don't tell me why. Don't solve my problem. Don't contribute to my fear. All right, you knew that this was the last slide. Thank you so much for listening to this patiently. I hope that you have liked the explanation and you've understood the poem. There was not much vocabulary here. There were not a lot of figures of speech. Just a profound thought that can transform your life. At times, you have to be a patient listener and allow your friends to express themselves. After you have patiently heard them, then it is right to talk and give advice only if really asked. Believe in your friend's ability that they'll solve the problems themselves. If you listen to someone really intently and show interest in listening, believe me, a friend would simply love you for who you are. Right then, we'll meet again soon. The next chapter that I'm going to deal with is intellectual rubbish. What a chapter that is, what a title that is. We'll meet again soon. Do take care.